Hey, good evening, everyone. Episode 4. We are on a roll. It's exciting. I really didn't think we'd make it this far, to be honest. I'm here. Beach. Ooh, I'm waving with this hand because they can't see me. Regan. Frank is back here. He has some respiratory issues. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. It's exciting. I really didn't think we'd... Mute yourself, Regan. I can hear you. Yeah, he's got some respiratory things going on, so I had to go up to Lowe's and make sure he doesn't die, because this is his show, so it'd be unfortunate if the guys whose show this is croaked, needless to say.
It kind of looks like you have him doing some work upstairs in the attic.
So what happened was I was actually stripping all the paint off of our porch, and I was like, I'm going to be safe, but it kind of didn't work out that way. Because now I'm not even using it now. So I paid like $30 to use this thing for like 3 hours. But I guess I'm not dying. So that's a plus. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a cool show planned tonight. Pretty excited. Got some cool stuff to talk about in the news. And then we also have an awesome guest who has done a whole lot for us. Not just help USMC Racing and the car itself and the team, but also has done a huge job in helping us actually get other people involved, and has linked us in with other people that will be on this show in the coming weeks. This is so awesome. Okay, so after I've done sharing the show on my personal page, we've already got people commenting. Look at that. This is so popular. Lou, hey guys, I'm from Hubert. Yes. Got your USMC shirt. Awesome. Andrew Ladner, I see your shirt. Yes, buddy. I was kind of hoping you were going to watch, and I'm wearing your shirt. Look at your comment out there for everybody to see. How nice. Okay, cool. So first, we're going to hit off something I thought was pretty funny. I guess he's had too much to drink. I'm not going to go pick him up because we're just going to keep rolling. Sorry, Frank. Anyway, okay. Don't worry about him. Let's just move on. So this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you've been in Okinawa, Georgie, but I know I have.
Yes,
and I know there's
abundance of times.
Yeah, the curfews and the no drinking and all this other kind of stuff. So it's interesting to read that U.S. Forces Korea is lifting its curfew for 90 days to see if troops can behave. I'm not going to lie. I'm not so sure that they're going to make this happen.
Well, it's just kind of always struck me odd, this whole entire curfew thing. I get it. You're in a foreign country, so you're trying to deal with being an ambassador in a foreign country. But it's like the only time that we as military people get treated like – well, it's not the only time, but the biggest time that we as military people get treated like children. You know what I mean? It's like, there's always going to – if something like that happened in, 29 Palms, they wouldn't put a curfew on 29 Palms if somebody misbehaved.
Right. Yeah, exactly. What's interesting is they're doing this as like a test. So normally the curfew lasts from 1 to 5 a.m. and requires troops to remain on base or in their residence or hotel rooms during those hours. What's interesting is, we're interesting. I just lost my place here. I think the curfew's been in place since 2010. I think I was reading.
Yeah.
No, curfew was first imposed.
Temporarily relaxed in 2010.
Yeah. God, that is just after public outcry arose because I'm sure the American forces were doing something they shouldn't have done. If I can imagine.
But it's always the same thing. It's always an accusation of, I hate to say it, rape. You know what I mean? It's like it's just the culture is so different.
I can remember when I was in Okinawa. Oh, I take it back. I had just left. And there was I think he was a staff sergeant who R-worded, because I really can't stand that word, R-worded an 11-year-old. And
Lord.
I had a couple buddies, I had MySpace at the time, and they were like, bro, the whole island's on lockdown. And I'm in Pennsylvania at the time. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And said, oh, no, we're not allowed to go anywhere. Like, holy smokes, that's crazy, man. Well, here's to the Army in Korea. If any of the 9 people watching right now are in Korea, go get him, Tiger. Go get him. This is super cool. So this was, I think, Tuesday.
2 days ago, whatever 2 days ago was.
2 days ago, like 10 years ago, Sergeant Leah Ann Hester was awarded the Silver Star. And not just awarded the Silver Star, she was awarded the Silver Star for Valor, making her the only woman in the DoD to have ever earned the Silver Star for Valor. And the only woman to have gotten the Silver Star since World War II. So I thought that was extremely interesting. So she is from, and let me go to her picture. Forgot I had the scenes up. Whoopsies. So that is her on the left on your screen. You'll see her getting awarded the Silver Star, and that is her currently. She is a police officer in the Franklin County. I believe it's in Kentucky or Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee, I think, yeah. So, okay, here we go. Pretty cool. So National Guard's Kentucky-based 617th Military Police Company was who she was attached with. And essentially, we're talking guaranteed combat, and this was 2005. The incident in question happened in Baghdad while she was assisting with a convoy heading out to some unknown fob. Says here that she had been doing this countless number of times, and well before the Pentagon signed that order with no women in combat, and such.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of interesting that they even... And what's cool about this is, we talked about this last week with... Mr. McDowd, or I forget his name.
Yeah.
We had the racism was there and not allowing him to get the Medal of Honor.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's like, is this another one of those issues where it's because she was a female that she wasn't awarded, or because they didn't have females in combat positions, although she's an MP, which isn't in a combat-related MOS. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where, are the rules getting muddled just because of political or bias.
And so what's interesting here, this is kind of neat. Her this isn't an actual summary of her citation, but this is pretty much a lead on. So real quick, I see somebody got more viewers than normal. A lot of those are probably seeing us from ADTR Performance's Facebook page. He has allowed us to cross-post onto this particular episode because we will be talking with ADTR Performance here in a minute. So please stick around for that. So in case people are wondering what the heck we're doing on
station identification work.
Yeah, I didn't have I probably should have put something up. I think I had something at the beginning. Okay, stop it. Listen. Okay. It didn't take long before the lead supply convoy to bear the brunt of the onslaught. They got caught in a crossfire in a kind of convoy. Unshaken, Hester directed her team away from the enemy's concentrated fire and into a flanking position that was exposing multiple irrigation ditches and an orchard the enemy was using to stage the attack. With enemy fire peppering the convoy, the 23-year-old sergeant directed her gunner to send Mark 19 rounds downrange. For those who don't know, that's a 40-millimeter grenade launcher, which is pretty cool.
Dude, that's like one of my favorite weapons.
That is.
Absolutely.
That and the 50 cal have probably the most distinct sound of anything I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
Exactly. She dismounted her vehicle, and this when I read this, I actually could see this in my mind. Dismounting her vehicle, lobbing rounds, her hair fluttering in the wind as she lobs 203 grenade launcher rounds.
This is Captain Marvel movie?
I know, right? Then tossing 2 fragmentation grenades into the trench line before storming the area on foot. Cut through 2 additional trenches and killed 3 enemies directly in front of her in close quarters combat with her M4. That is freaking ridiculous. At the end of the day, at the end of the 45-minute firefight, 27 insurgents lay dead, 6 wounded, 1 captured. I mean, that's...
By a female. You know that they can never go to heaven, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. Suckers. I mean, we love people of Islam. Anyway. Yeah, that's nuts. I read that the other day on, I think, Military Times, and I'm like, holy crap, we are definitely going to talk about you. And then she deployed again. She came back, got out, and then she was like, I got to do this again, and went back for 18 more months in Afghanistan.
Oof.
That's bananas. I mean, good for her, but good gravy.
Yeah.
And, yeah, reading this is pretty awesome. Okay, cool. Good for you. So proud of you. Sergeant Hester. I'm sure you're probably
watching. She's watching. We know she's watching. She's one of the 10.
Yeah. Okay. We're up to 10. Woo! We were at 11 earlier, so we've hit the double digits. Okay. This is our feel-good story of the week, this is the story I think that a lot more millennials, and I use that term in the most unnegative light as I can possibly say it. This is a story that a lot of younger people need to hear. because people think, oh, I've got my phone and I've got my, well, I mean, trunks around, but I've got all this stuff that makes my life easy. And there's people like this who didn't have it easy, literally got dumped by the only family he knew, and changed all of that. Holy shit, we're up to 17.
Vámonos, Chico.
Oh my goodness. Okay, abandoned and homeless, a Marine recruit overcomes adversity and shifts to boot camp. This guy, James Gordon, no stranger to adversity, was adopted at the age of 3 by a Jamaican family and moved to the United States a few years ago. Currently 18-year-old, future Marine, current green card holder, has been trying to navigate the often arduous task of becoming a U.S. citizen. Did you have to do any of that? Or did you come...
Look, man, don't make me curse on this show. Don't make me curse on this show.
Linda, we don't have tacos, so I can't please you all the time, okay?
Listen there, Linda.
Those little fake bananas that are tiny.
Those plantains are delish. All right, don't even. Don't even. Those things are...
No, it's a fake banana.
You're a fake banana.
That's like having a micro carrot. What? That's not a carrot. That's like a piece of orange...
Get on task here before I go.
I just wanted to know if you were a sovereign citizen, that's all. Or not sovereign, because people are crazy. Never mind. Okay. So this, I believe he's a recruit right now. I think he's already shipped at this point. Met with Marine Staff Sergeant Donald A. Rich, a recruiter, around the Christmas holiday of this past year in Tampa, Florida. But as soon as this kid's adopted father, found out that he had applied for the Marine Corps and signed all the paper because he was 18, he dumped his ass off at damn it, Mickey, nobody has dicks out for Harambe. You need to quit with the negative comment. I can't believe you said that on our show. Jeez. Anyway,
PG people, PG.
This is an important story. So his parents, his dad basically dumped his ass, left him on the foot of the recruiting station.
PG-13.
Yeah. Left him on the foot of the recruiter station, was like, fuck it. PG-13. R. Screw it. Leave him. He's not my problem anymore. He's yours. You're the one that wanted him in the first place. You're going to dang deal with him. All the while, this kid had zero discipline issues, had a close to 4.0 average. Basically, this kid came from nothing and did everything he could to become somebody. And after all this adversity, this guy did everything he could. And the story even gets better. So basically the dad said, I don't care. You can, he's not staying in my house. He can move to a hotel. The dad only paid for 3 days. The recruiters and the recruiter's family put together money to put this guy up in a hotel up until his ship date, which was directly after he graduated from high school. And then the wives and spouses of the recruiters made food. They made food and kept this kid fed and helped him do laundry and all this other kind of stuff. There was even a local Tampa charity, I can't read it, or Marine Families, I think it says, also pitched in to help Gordon with food and shelter before heading to recruit training. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Dude, that's such a sad story, but a good story all at the same time. It's like, just that one that shows you how important that Marine family is. Yeah. This guy wasn't even a Marine yet, and yet they took care of him as if he was one of their own. Yeah. And I mean, unfortunately for the dude's adopted parents and all that kind of stuff, but kudos to that recruiting station. Yeah. They should get recruiting station of the year or something like that.
And this is Mr. Gordon on your screen here in his depth photo. Here's a quote from the dad. What a scumbag. If you're in the Tampa Bay area and you find this guy, just punch him in the balls. He's your guy's problem now, Gordon's father said. You guys figure out what to do with him. What a shitbird. Man, that's insane. I just realized I don't have my fancy schmancy lights. Hang on. I feel like I'm like more tan than normal, but I'm not. Hold on.
Oh, Lord. So, how are you doing, folks?
We're a high-class show. Hold on, I'm coming. I gotta, man. Yeah. I don't have my life together sometimes.
But you do have honor.
Hey, I do. It's delicious. It's a great... That's on the right... Nope. Jeez. I guess not that it really matters. Okay, that's awesome. Very cool story. But we have a fantastic guest coming on.
Boom.
Chris, unmute yourself. Or don't talk yet. So this guy is from ADTR Performance. And folks, I cannot wait for you to hear what ADTR stands for. I didn't even know it myself until I heard him on another show. And I'm like, oh, God. I have to bring him on our show now because that's hilarious. This guy is great. He is everything you want to know about Crown Vic, Mercury Marauder. I think a little bit of Mustang stuff. That's what this guy does consistently, always. And he's an absolute badass, and he's linked us in with many other people. And so, no further ado, make sure you're unmuted. Kaboom! There it is, the Crown Vic Master. How are you, buddy?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Okay, so 5 W's. Who are you? Wife, kids, where do you live? All that jazz, and then we'll go into the stuff that I want to hear.
Okay. My name is Chris Adams. I'm the owner and operator of located in Simi Valley, California. Wife Liz, got 2 kids, Jeremy and Nathan, 7 and 3. And why? Because my first car was a Crown Vic, and my parents wouldn't let me sell it to get a Mustang like all my other friends. So I made it work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I see a Crown Vic back there on your looks like on your bookshelf back there.
White one? Yeah, the little white Crown Vic.
Yeah, I've got that's my motivation. That's the all white Crown Vic CHP cars. I saw that online. I'm like, I gotta have that.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I did that with trains for my desk at work, and my wife's like, "You're an idiot. You spent money on this." I'm like, "I like trains, man. I don't know what to tell you. Stop." Okay.
I do that with camera gear.
That's all that matters.
It's all that. Yeah. Except when
I do that with camera gear.
You do that with camera. Yeah, but your camera gear is way more expensive than a little mile train that goes on my desk. I'd show you Frank because he's the reason we're here. But he
passed out. He's a little drunk.
Well, let me see if I can't help him. Maybe he wants to sit up this time. Ah, God, your knee's stuck on me. Get off me. Hold on. We're not, sorry. Frank, sit up, buddy. Sit up. Ooh. Okay, maybe not.
Zip ties.
I think he's
having. I don't think that we can even see Frank.
I think he had a daiquiri and he didn't tell me or share. Okay, so the important bit: ADTR Performance. Give us the history, man. Before you tell us what it stands for, because I want to hear it again. So before you tell us what it stands for, just give us some backstory, how it got started, why, where you are now, and then let's hear that. Sorry, I'm going to silence my phone. Oof, awkward.
All right. So my buddies and I started the business back in the day. Geez, that was 2001, and we basically just got it so that we could have a business tax license and get discounted parts. And then we found out that we actually had to make product and sell it to be legitimate. So we started making cold air intake pipes, little odds and ends that nobody really made for the Crown Vics, and people bought it. And it got bigger and bigger, and to the point where then I started getting, people saying, well, you should make this, you should make that. So we started developing more parts, and to where we are now, where we've got, coilover suspension, 6-speed manual transmission swaps, supercharger systems, like you name it, we're working on trying to make it for the Crown Vics. It's like a super weird niche market, but it works, and there's enough nut jobs like you and I that want to make their cars faster. And they work with what they got. It's a cheap rear-wheel drive, V8 full-frame car. Unfortunately, it's the last thing you could call a muscle car or close to a muscle car, Yeah. So, I've got customers that, get them from old grandmas and, or find them used for $500 to $1,000, and then they want to make it faster, like any, red-blooded male. And so, I developed a lot of these parts just for my own cars because I wanted to do stuff and nobody else had. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to make something for myself, why not see if other people want it?
Right.
And people have, which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I
So,
love it.
hey, can I ask you a question real quick? We have Oscar Garcia. I don't know who's. I think he's on my page asking this question, but he wanted to know if you had any 3D printing technology for your business.
I've got a customer that has a 3D printer, and we have started talking about doing things with that. But I've got a really good CNC guy locally, so I haven't dabbled too much into the 3D printing yet. But that
I would think that especially with engines and all that kind of stuff, it'd be hard to do 3D printing just because of the plastics involved, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's definitely ways to prototype things that don't need to be, finalized, and that's where
Gotcha.
the 3D printing thing really does.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's definitely not out, and have him hit me up if he wants. I can talk to him about possibilities, but like we don't really do too much of like the internal engine stuff. We're definitely not at that level yet where we're creating motors, but like suspension pieces, I'm down.
Cool.
That's awesome. I know that Ken Block's 2.0 Mustang, the intake was entirely made with 3D printing, metal 3D printing.
Yeah, that was on what, the Huna truck?
Yeah, no, not the Huna. Oh, was it the Huna truck? I thought it was the Huna truck. It was the Mustang because he went from regular pump gas, naturally aspirated to twin turbo on methanol. And I thought that was the one that they had done that intake. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I love watching those Hoonigan videos.
But still, I mean, the fact that they're using that technology, it's
I mean, you can
awesome.
3D print. Then again, 3D print with titanium. I just found that out the other day.
Oh shit! I mean, shoot.
Potty mouth. So
yeah, but that costs a lot more than what ADTR.
I would imagine so. I would absolutely imagine so.
What's your sway bar made out of? Titanium. Duh. Yeah, that would be. You'd be the hit of the town. Okay.
Yeah.
What does ADTR stand for?
All right. So back in the day, like I said, my buddies and I started it. They're no longer part of the equation, but it stands for Angry Duck Tofu Racing. You're right, exactly. That's the look that I got from all of the manufacturers when I introduced myself saying I wanted to do business with them. They're like, wait, what? So I went by ADTR, which, just the abbreviation. And like everybody just knows me as that. And now, I mean, it stands for all data, so it's a little bit. It makes a little bit more sense. But
I think it's great.
Yeah, that was the original name, the original story.
I pause.
I think we stick with Angry Duck Tofu Racing, man. That's
like some Lemons names.
Brother.
Seriously, like someone running in Lemons. That's like their racing team name.
Hey, man. Hey. I'll make you a logo.
You should. You're talking to the logo master.
Well,
I don't even know what that would look like. No, you'd have to use Daffy Duck because he's always angry. Always.
Yeah.
We were thinking like, Clay Smith Cam's kind of that angry duck with the cigar or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that. And it was just going to be ADR, but there was a wheel company that was ADR. So we're like, okay, so my friends were watching Initial D and saw the AE86 from the Tofu Shop. I don't know if either of you have watched Initial D.
Yeah.
They thought that was the best idea. When they came back to me with that, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, how am I going to get taken? But hey, 18 years later, we're still doing it.
Look, man. I stick with it, brother. Stick with it.
I think that's absolutely great. Okay, so we got some really cool photos to show, so I'm going to pull up one of these right now. Okay, this is, if it's going to come up, there it is, the Rocket Couch. First off, why the name Rocket Couch?
I mean, come on, you're asking the guy that just told you his name was Angry Duck Tofu Racing.
I know that, but the story behind that was really good, so I'm assuming this story is equally as fantastic.
Yes. So first car in high school, I drove it around like it was the fastest thing ever, and it wasn't. But you know what? It worked. Uh, Back then, it had exhaust. It had some terrible like '90s wheels, and it wasn't supercharged at that point, so it was not very fast. But the inside is that '90s porno red that all the '90s cars have, and
Go wow wow.
My truck has
exactly. The back seat is giant. It's like a giant couch, and so my friend dubbed it the Rocket Couch, and the name stuck.
That's fantastic. So it looks like you've got little pie pizza cutters up front, and you got some thicker rubber in the back.
Yeah, this is an older picture of when it was in CarCraft magazine.
Oh, cool.
Since then, it's got even smaller tires in the front because it's basically drag only at this point. I mean, I do take it on the street, but not much. It's supposed to go straight and fast and not stop.
Obviously, we're running a 4.6. It looks like it's a Pro Charger on the front too.
Yeah, this is a Paxton. I'm actually redoing it now, and it's going to be an even bigger Vortec. So they don't even have the blower available yet. They're designing it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a monster. It's hopefully going to be about anywhere from 800 to 1,000 to the tires.
I tell you, that thing is cool. When you sent me those pictures of the day, I'm like, well, I didn't expect the coolness factor to be this high. That is wicked awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a cool car. The car has been kind of sidelined because I've been fighting with problems with it, and so the other shop cars that I'm sure you'll show soon have been the ones that have been I have been R&Ding parts on them, so they've automatically been in the forefront, and everybody's been following them, and like I even sold my white R&D car Casper. And like people are now following the current owner on Instagram because they just love the car.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it's the last quote unquote muscle car and all that, but it's just amazing to me, Brian, and you can probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't see a lot of these cars out on the racetrack on the like the Lemon circuit style. Racing and all that kind of stuff. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure Brian could talk more about the Lemons rules and all of that. But I mean, I know, like I mentioned today.
Well, I just use Lemons as an example, not necessarily a qualifier.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like I know that a lot of guys do use it at Lemons. Maybe not with you guys, but I mean. Like my brother-in-law was mentioning that I should reach out to Greg Biffle because he's building a Lemons car and it's a Crown Vic.
It's already running and we raced against him at Lemons.
Oh, you did?
But here's the thing. His car was only fast if he was in it. We were smoking that car if he wasn't in the car.
Well, it's because he doesn't have enough of my parts. That's why.
There you go.
There's actually a really good shot. While we're sitting here talking, I have a really good shot on my phone, I think, of me and him. It was like the beginning of the day, beginning of the 24-hour race we were doing, and he happened to be behind me somehow, and it got a really good shot of me entering turn 1 and exiting, and he is like right in my shit, but trying to go around me.
Yeah.
But
professional race car driver, you're good, but
yeah, you're no
really.
Greg Biffle.
No, I'm no Greg Biffle. I didn't save it on my phone. I got to scour Facebook. Okay, I don't have time for this. I'll look for it later. But we got to see his car up close and personal, and I tell you, that thing is beautiful. It's absolutely immaculate. There's not a speck on it, in it, under it, because I got on it, in it, and under it to look myself. I'm like, holy crap, this thing is amazing. I mean, they have water pressure gauges, and they have all these fancy tires, and they have these fancy brakes that, holy.
But now, don't you guys get penalized, or isn't there, like, rules for modifications?
Okay. All he has to do is sign something, and they'll be like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. No kidding. So there are rules, but it's tricky. So brakes are considered part of the safety features, so that doesn't count. Any kind of dash equipment, tracking information, stuff like that. Anything the driver sees in front of him to use to drive the car is not considered part of the $500. It's mainly meant for suspension, engine, and transmission. If you have any of those things, they're going to ding it for it. What a lot of guys do is they use the wedges they put in the suspension coil springs, coil spring rubbers. Yeah, that.
Right.
And so they go through tech, and then when the guy sits in the car, it's pa-ding, 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 right? But when the car comes back to the pits, they slap those things in there, and now suddenly your suspension is really stiff. So a lot of people get away with stuff like that. I mean, just typical NASCAR cheats. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
so then all of that time trying to get you to do Ford factory brakes and the upgraded brake stuff and all that, you should have just said, no, Chris, I'm going to do the Willwoods and we'll upgrade to all that stuff and it's not going to ding me. I was trying to work around the rules a little bit. It'll have Ford part numbers and everything on it.
yeah,
Look at
but
that.
if you do Willwood, we need some more sponsors for that. So, but we'll get there.
All right.
We'll
Well, maybe we'll talk about that.
For all those potential sponsors out there.
Yeah, the 14 people watching, if you guys own a big business and want to get rid of some money, you let me know. We'll put it to good use. But his car was really cool. But they put him in B class because it was a Crown Vic, and he said the motor was stock. And from the outside looking in, it was a stock Police Interceptor motor. I saw it. The heads were the same. The everything looked stock. Now, if he had a tune on it, that I don't know. But from the outside looking in, yeah.
Do they check that?
No,
Do
they have
check
no.
to see if it's got a tune.
I don't
Do
think
they
they
check
have.
if it's?
No.
So, I mean, if anybody from Lemons is watching, so we wouldn't do this, obviously.
No, because that's
What to
cheating.
keep you from porting cylinder heads and, like a big bore stroker, it looks stock. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I bought it stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I got it. And they put him in B class, and I think they gave him like 7 laps just because of who he was. No, I'm sorry. They didn't give him any penalty laps. They gave him penalty laps the race before at Pittsburgh. But so he raced and won B class handily because of who he was. And the rest of his drivers weren't very good because I was flying by that car consistently. Unless you knew he was in the car because that car was gone, especially in the corners and stuff like that, because he was just driving the pants off that thing. But he's not allowed to be in B class anymore, so that car is permanently moved to A class. So now we don't have that competition anymore of another Crown Vic.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I was pretty.
But
happy.
I would imagine though that it is a cheap enough car that people can get in. I mean, because what's the rule on like how expensive the car can be?
So they say $500, right? $500 is what it's worth. But there's a lot of ways around that. So you can get a $2,000 car and then sell the stuff in it and then use the receipts that you sold it with. I'm using air quotations you guys can't see. Sell the stuff that costs money to drop the price of your car. So there's all this weird gray area.
Work around.
Yeah. I mean,
it's the whole Rodney Dangerfield, keep it. What was the Rodney Dangerfield said? Was it called? Keep it clean, boys. Keep it clean.
Yeah.
When he was on the golf course.
Yes. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. So, but it's fun. We definitely enjoy it. And for another show, we're going to talk about some things that we at USMC Racing are doing for next year. But this isn't the venue because this is about you and this is about us. So stop trying to take away the show from yourself. Unbelievable.
Fine.
You are so
Heaven
selfless.
Selfless,
Right? Not
selfless.
selfish.
That just goes to show that if you have a Crown Vic, you got to go talk to ADTR because they are selfless people.
Exactly. And your Crown Vic could look like this. If it'll come up. Hey, the Ghost Interceptor. This is a very beautiful car, I'm not going to lie. It's quite hot.
I like it. I've always liked the all whited out, like stealthy look, and now we're turning it into more of a race car. We're gonna open track it So we just upgraded to 18-inch fan blade Mustang wheels, and we're putting the Willwood brake package on it. We were autocrossing with it, and it did okay, but the supercharger and all of that kind of is going to shine in a bigger area. So stretch its legs and get out of second gear.
Yeah, that's cool. I think this is a beautiful car. Well, if I look at this correctly, it looks like I see some spotlights. Was this a prior police car?
Yeah, this was a Ventura County Sheriff car. It was black and white. And, we got it as a project car, and it's cool. A lot of our customers kind of attached to it because it was stock or very little modified. And then we slowly worked our way through the process and, started with bolt-ons and kind of reminded ourselves what all these bolt-ons do that we sell. And then used it to develop new parts. So like we developed the supercharger system that's on there. We developed the 6-speed T56 trans swap. We developed the coilover package on it. We developed sway bars on it. So we use this car a lot for R&D.
Yeah, I think it's great. Why is your top radiator hose blue? That's so random.
That was a factory option. There's a silicone upper and lower hoses, and some police cars got them and some didn't. It just depends on how the department ordered them.
That's cool. And this one's Pro Charge too, it looks like.
Because the police department wants to be like, super fancy and all that kind of stuff. Hey, check what's under my hood.
Even the radiator goes wee woo wee woo.
Yeah. Well, supposedly I think they're on the car for life. I don't think you ever have to replace them. So,
oh, that's neat. Well, that's smart. Yeah, I like the way that car looks. Okay, let's see. What do we got next here? Da-da-da. If it'll come up. Okay, your Mercury Marauder. So I think what's important here is I think you need to explain, because I'm sure a lot of people don't understand why the Mercury Marauder was such a big deal when it came out.
Okay, so basically the Mercury Marauder is a hopped up version from Ford, but Ford still had to have it pass smog laws and have to make everybody happy. So it's not really hopped up. I mean, it does have a Cobra motor in it, which is kind of cool. So it's, I think, 305 horsepower from the factory. So it's got the dual overhead cam motor, and it's got basically all the bells and whistles, full leather, better handling, 18-inch wheels. I've replaced them with these aftermarket wheels, but it's basically a hot rodded Crown Vic, and the 2003 had black and blue, if I recall correctly, and then 2004 had black and silver and red, and the blue is the rarest, and so I've always lusted after a blue Marauder. So when I found it, everybody was like, you got to buy it. You got to start developing parts on this. Yeah. So here it is.
What does the license plate say? It says rare. Oh, okay.
Rare. Yeah. So for somebody in California has one of 328. That was the one I ideally wanted because I'm kind of a geek when it comes to all of this stuff.
I love it.
But yeah, so this is Project Rare. So we've used this to develop our supercharger system. We've got sway bars on it, all the suspension doodads. Now we're actually doing an air suspension system on it, which is going to be super cool. And it'll be complete bolt-on, no welding, so anybody can put it on in the driveway.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Sweet.
I love the way that looks. There's a group called Hidden Wounds, and as some of the fans of USMC Racing have seen, we've partnered with them. And again, this isn't a show. We're actually going to bring them on July 3rd. So, of the 12 people watching right now, you come back July 3rd now, and you're going to see Hidden Wounds, and I cannot wait to get them on.
Bring your friends.
Bring your friends and share it so we can get into the 20s. I think we got to 17 this time. It was pretty exciting. New high. Thanks to Chris. Thank you.
Every week is a new high.
Yeah. Yeah, not for me because I still have 7 more years of this. But you have 52 days. 8. 9, whatever your schedule is.
Doesn't matter. It's less than you.
Yes, shut up, stupid. Man. Okay, so I have one of your most selling. Wait a minute, hold on, back up. Your highest selling product is your coilovers, right?
Yes.
So
Definitely.
I'm going to switch to that. What's the story behind this? Now, can you, before you put this package together, if I wanted to do this setup, I had to, I'm assuming, go out to, who is this, Brightech, Moroso. I had to go to these people individually to find these parts, or how would that have worked before you did this?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to take all the credit. A lot of the street rod guys kind of helped with getting the Crown Vics noticed. The 03 and newer Crown Vics, all of the street rod guys take the front cross member and will swap that into their trucks. So
really,
RideTech primarily made a really nice system for the front that bolts right in. But nobody made anything for the rear, and nobody packaged it all as a complete kit.
Right.
So what we did is we basically finished it, used their front, include the thrust bearings, the spanner wrenches, all that stuff, and then made something for the rear that allows the car to drop anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches, and it gives you rebound
like it's
ability. Yeah, and
So
it handles really well.
Yeah, this is cool, man. I definitely, I wish I could, there's a way on this program we use to do like a screen share. I kind of wish I had figured that out more. I would love to have been able to show folks your webpage because you have some cool stuff on there. So besides this, what other products are you most proud of that you guys offer?
I mean, anything that I've brought to market that people are actually buying. It's cool to have, nothing available for the Crown Vics. Like when I started with my red car, I went to a speed shop and said, what can I do? And they're like, well, they didn't blow me off, which was really cool. They actually said, well, you've got a Mustang motor, basically. Let's see what Mustang parts will work. But all of it required modification. There was nothing that was really a true bolt-on. And so, just over the years of me wanting to modify my own cars, I made product, that I knew I was going to put on my car. And if it was good enough for my car, it should be good enough for anybody else.
Yeah.
I used top of the line components, so I shouldn't have any backlash of, oh, why'd you use a cheap, blah, blah, blah. It's all really good stuff.
Yeah.
And it works really well. So, we work with Stainless Works to get long tube headers available for the cars.
Yeah, I've seen that. And then your newest product is sway bars for the rear end for 92 to 97 Crown Vics, right?
Well, we're going to do sway bars.
Or not sway bars.
For the older cars, yeah. The 79 to 97 Crown Vics, Grand Marquis Town cars.
79, great year. It's like a fine wine.
But you are not
I'm kind of partial to 81.
Oh, you guys are just grandpas to me. Yeah, bunch of old bogeys.
So the 92 to 97 crowd is what I was primarily going after, but the 79 to 90 crowd has no one to make parts for them.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same length control arm. The only thing we're changing is their sway bars mount to the lower control arm. So I put 2 mounts in there for their sway bars, and now it'll work for 79 to 97. So we're trying to get those to market. We've got 14 people, I think, signed up and pre-registered to go. So once we hit 20,
we want to be part of that, but we need some more, because we ain't got no right now. Because unfortunately, we have a car in Texas getting some much-needed TLC from our friend Brian Fennell of Kyle Automotive Services out there in Buda, Texas. So he's got the car. We're going to be getting brakes from you, so we have to figure out what we're spending our money on. So the brakes are obviously key among them because I'm not kidding you. Those things are cracked all the way around. All 4 of them are microfractured.
That's kind of a safety thing. I think we should probably take care of that.
It survived a 24-hour race. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that website, because we can't screen share, is ADTR.net, correct?
Yes, correct.
So for all you Crown Vic lovers, even if you don't have one, but you just want to go ahead and googly goggle over some Crown Vic parts and pictures and all that kind of stuff, head on over to ADTR.net and send your friends that way.
we're gonna try this on the fly here. See if I can't do this wrong. I mean, correct. You know what I mean? ADTR.net. Okay, here we go. Screen share. Unlock screen share. Zoom in on the something to what? Oh, haha! Look at that. So I figured it out. Okay, this is his awesome website. You can get apparel.
So smart.
I am so smart. You stop it. The Stewart EMP Performance water pump. I think you and I talked about that for a little while, but I think that was the electric one, right? Or is that the mechanical one?
That's mechanical.
Okay.
And for you, I would definitely recommend mechanical.
Mechanical, yeah. I think that's what we... Oh, look! There they are right there, folks. ADTR 79 and 97 Panther adjustable rear trailing arms. I know I said sway arms, but, I'm not that smart with this stuff, so give me a break.
You're learning it. Okay.
These
Not smart.
You stop your speaking. But this is pretty cool, folks. So if you guys have a Crown Vic or Mercury Marauder or a Mustang that may need some certain parts, because let's face it, Crown Vics are better than Mustangs. This is your place to go, and I think you should head over there. Okay, let's train this back.
I think so too.
Yeah, I fixed it. All right, cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate you being on here, showing your website, which is so cool. Did that on the fly. Haven't done that before. Like talking about your products. Your cars are badass. Everything you do is badass. And not only has you and your company helped us, you've linked us in with other people. And talking with Marty from Mo Speed Shop, who will be on this show second week of July, I believe, second Wednesday of July. And in so doing with that relationship has got morphed into something super awesome. He has then linked us in with somebody else that we, as USD Racing, have something in store for everybody, but we're not going to tell anybody yet because it's not ready. It will be, and it's going to be exciting. And a lot of it's happening because you have linked us up with Marty, who linked us in with our mystery individual company who's helping us. So it's really exciting. But hey, again, thank you so much. I'm so glad we could get you in there. I know you're so slammed and busy. I text you in like a day, and 9 hours later I'll hear back from you. So I know you're slammed. So it means a lot to me. It means a lot to Rican that you came on the show. So do me a favor, brother. Stick around. We're going to talk real quick after the show is over. Basically, S your D some more for being on our show, and then we'll let you get on your way.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, and glad I could be a part of your project.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, brother.
Mute yourself, and we will be right back.
Muted.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
All right, folks, that was awesome. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Rican disappeared. Chris, don't make it weird because everybody can see you.
That's on you, brother.
I don't what. Aha! There we go. That's so weird. It just brought him in here. Okay, I'm glad he didn't throw the phone down and we see his kid naked running around this because that was awkward. I switched the scene. I saw him. I'm like, oh no. Okay, so that was awesome. Again, folks, that was Chris from ADTR Performance in California. That guy. I emailed him, and I think in a couple of days he emailed me back and was like, absolutely, I love what you're doing. Let's do this, let's do that. And he talked me through a lot of different things. We have some awesome stuff on the car from them, but as any race car driver, we're not really going to tell you what that is because it's a trade secret, but not really a trade secret. So I guess if you came into a race and looked inside the engine bay, you would kind of figure it out. It is a secret. I don't know if anybody could hear me do that. I don't have a microphone hanging in front of my face like a giant something.
PG-13.
I know, I'm trying. Okay, factoid of the week. This is pretty cool. I found this out yesterday. This beautiful piece of machinery, the F-117, turned 38 years old yesterday. I can remember 38. I can remember as a kid seeing this thing on the news, especially after Desert Storm. Oh man! And in the opening days of OAF, what was that? Shock and Awe or whatever that was.
Oh, shock and awe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that was
I was there.
amazing. Out of 38 years of service, they only had one combat loss, and I don't have that in front of me, unfortunately, but I'm sure someone with the Google thing can figure that out. But the F-117 made its first flight at the Tonopah Test Range, Nevada, June 18th, 1981. Oh, Chris, you have something in common with the F-117, buddy. Look at you, have the same birth year.
So I don't know because I can't really see the screen that well. Is that somebody photoshopping the American flag, or what did they do?
No, actually, if I remember correctly, they painted that for something. If I remember correctly, that's an actual paint job, but it was temporarily. Yeah, it was temporary.
It's like a flying kite.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and they actually, from what I remember, they had a lot of problems getting this thing to fly. 'Cause, essentially with no elevators in the back, it was like, how in the world do you get this thing to work right? So they had a lot of things went on. As a matter of fact, the first time it flew was 1981, and it wasn't publicly revealed until 1988. So I mean, you're talking 7 years they kept this thing under wraps. This is pretty wild, and kind of sad. We don't fly them anymore.
Yeah.
And they get rid of 4. I found out they get rid of 4 a year, and they're just basically up in mothball. I think they're actually at the Tonopah Test Range in Nevada, where they're just sitting in mothball. They get rid of 4 a year, except for this year. This year and last year, several of them have been seen flying around the Death Valley area, which is kind of interesting. And from what I was able to pick out from different websites, because there's all these conspiracy theorists websites.
Sure, yeah.
Well, not UFOs, guys. But that wasn't it. It was this damn airplane, and they were what they think is happening because all of the photos and videos of the 117 within the last year have all been very close to the ground. You're talking 500 feet. But what people have noticed, there have been other aircraft much, much higher in the sky tailing them. So what they think is going on is the government is using the F-117 as basically as a guinea pig, and the pods that the F-16s or F-15s are carrying are using like radar testing equipment to see if they can find the F-117 and stuff like that. Because I guess the technology is still very good. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's all, not hearsay, but that's just what the conspiracy theorists are saying about bringing it back. But pretty cool. Factoid of the week, 38 years old.
That's pretty
dang
dope. Yep.
Neat. Well, fantastic.
Where did you come up with this crap?
I don't hear your judgments when I hand this out to you on Mondays and Tuesdays, okay? I actually forgot to print this off. I almost sat down and I'm like, oh, God, I didn't print it. I had to go back and print it because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Not smart.
Your mom's not smart. You have a microphone, stupid. I can hear you. God. Go back eating your fake banana somewhere. Stupid.
Next time we have a barbecue, I'm making you some.
No, I don't want cooked banana. That's weird. That's like saying I want a sautéed apple. Like, no, I want it cold. And I want the crunch.
Sautéed apples are delicious.
Listen, that's probably what communists thought too in Soviet Union. Look what happened to them. Okay, they like sautéed apples and fake bananas. And do you know what happened to communism?
I'm running in 2020. My campaign's going to be make plantains great again.
Make Mumpa. Oh man, this is why we only have 11 people watching, because we're so ridiculous. Cool, fantastic show. I don't remember off the top of my head who we're bringing in next week, so give me a second or more, because we're not on top of our game. Okay, we're bringing in Calvin from Blue Falcon Apparel. So this super cool. What shirt are you wearing?
No, I don't have it on.
Jeez. Well, Frank's got problems.
Sure. Frank, so I have to make sure to wear that shirt.
Yeah, we have to make sure we wear our Blue Falcon Apparel shirts. So obviously Blue Falcon, right, buddy, effer. But this is different. Their company is ran by, I believe they're all active duty Army. and all their stuff is done in-house. As
I
a
didn't
matter
know
of
they
fact,
were all active duty.
yeah, they're all active duty. As a matter of fact, if you guys look at the logo next to my name there, they made that for us. They made our stickers. They do hats and mugs and a fanny pack. And shirts. I think they have a tanker jacket. So they're super cool. I love working with them, and they will be on. As a matter of fact, I didn't even say I'm going to my own event. Oh, now I'm going to it now. So super excited to get them in next week. That's going to be a great show. But race fans and fans of what we are doing, we really appreciate you being here. We're glad that if you stuck around for the last 55 minutes, it means a lot. We really do like doing this. We like bringing little stuff from the week. We try to have some feel-good stories in there. We try to make some history in there. Factoids. We're talking about the F-117, and of course, we always have fantastic guests. And
if you're up on a meritorious board, you should watch us so that we can go ahead and give you current events for your meritorious board. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Chris? hold on. Chris Adams just said something. I'm going to bring it into the screen here. I'm going to put it next to George here, right over his face. Chris Adams. Plantains are delicious.
Yes!
Chris,
I like this guy.
Chris, I'm going to disconnect you from the line. I don't think we're going to talk to you after the show is over. It just kind of sickens me a little bit. You probably like warm tuna fish, too, weirdo.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, you like plantains. It's a fake banana. I don't want to hear it.
Look, man. Look.
It's what I like doing this.
You know how many
Everything
Hispanic people I've been on the show?
There's 8 people watching. We've got 7 thumbs up.
About 9 of them are Hispanic.
Are they Puerto Rican and they Hispanic? I thought they couldn't be both.
Dude, we are about.
I am trying to help you. I mean, El Salvador, Colombia. I mean, man, they all serve tacos.
Let's just show off, baby. On the top note.
Okay, sorry. Yes. So again. We do. Clearly, you can see we're having fun. We absolutely love doing this. We love that you guys out there watch, the 7 that are watching right now. We love that we can bring you all of this stuff that's going on around the world in regards to the United States military and others. I'm sure as we progress, we'll start bringing some other things once we have more time. But we're probably going to keep it about an hour, so not really sure how that's going to play out. But the guests we bring in are always vital. Sometimes they've done stuff for USMC Racing. We have some guests that we're going to be bringing on in the future that we have partnered with. We're going to bring on some guests that are police officers. We're going to bring on all sorts of people. And it really is going to be fantastic. I really can't wait for this to progress. We're 4 episodes into this, and I don't see us stopping anytime soon. So with that, folks, from myself, Beej, and Rican, we sincerely appreciate your focus and our inability to focus during this 57 minutes we've been on Facebook Live.
So my cousin Lewis is on, and he says, "Make fake bananas great again."
That's why we do this. That's why we do
my
this.
Dude, man.
If you bring him on the show next week, I'm going to mute your screen. Okay. You're just going to see a black screen with your name on it. I want to see that fakeness going on in here. Or I'm going to eat a steaming bowl of tuna in front of everybody. No, don't do that because I really don't like warm tuna. It's got to be like super cold. Anyway, I tried shutting this down like 5 minutes ago, and we're still here jaw-jacking over stupidity stuff. All right, folks, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate that you watch this stuff, and we absolutely love doing it. We cannot wait to do this again. We will see you next week at the same time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.